specific question regarding your stances and on your platform. With you, Bruce, what is your stand on plea bargaining?
Well, it's an essential part of any criminal justice system that you do have plea bargaining. One of the things that I would start off with is noting that in this county, we charge a little differently than we do in other counties throughout the state. We start off with a lower charge, and if you don't take the plea agreement, then we up the charges. I personally believe that this is a mistake. I don't believe it should be done this way. I believe that we should start with the charges that are warranted through the investigation of our police departments and our officers, and then be willing to reduce those charges and not become so stuck in what we believe has happened, but listen to the facts, listen to defense counsel, examine the case, and as necessary and as appropriate, reduce the charges. So plea agreements are common. We couldn't take every case to trial. It would overwhelm the system.
Our standards are written down in our charging and disposition standards and guidelines. We charge the crime that accurately represents the conduct and for which we are able to produce proof beyond a reasonable doubt at trial. If a person does not take that offer, then my lawyers are expected to take the case to trial. We may add charges because when we add charges, we can talk more about the person, more about the case. We can indeed give the jury a more complete picture of what happened. Whenever a charge is reduced in our felony division from the original charge, the deputy prosecutor who was responsible for the case must give a reason for that, must state the reason in writing, put it in the file, and subject it to peer review. We track the number of charge reductions annually. It's published in our annual report.
Thank you. So then a little bit broader scope question on that, Russ, the question is, what would you change about the legal system in Kitsap County?
I would like very much to have some more lawyers to try cases. We just recently had to because last year we laid off 2 full-time lawyers and a couple of support staff. We adopted a program of offering to reduce certain low-grade felonies to misdemeanors in order to clear the calendars so that we can try those murder cases when they come in. I'd very much like to do away with that, and when we announced the adoption of this policy, we said that we would, as soon as resources allowed us to, we would indeed drop that practice. Other than that, I think we're fortunate. We have a very professional bar. We have good judges. We have jurors who are educated. Thankfully, with the federal employment base here, people get time off from work to actually serve on juries, and that's very, very important.
Thank you.
What I'd like to see more of is an emphasis on prosecuting those crimes that represent a clear and present danger to our citizens. That, for instance, medical marijuana cases, which may take an inordinate amount of time of our prosecutorial time, should be an extremely low priority. It's not a priority at all. Matter of fact, we need to worry about those cases in which our safety and health are at risk in the community. I don't find that taking cases to trial is the best place for anything to happen for anyone. It's hard on everyone, no matter what anyone thinks, unless you've been in a trial. You don't understand the consequences. And I would like to see a more reasoned approach to a lot of cases, and I recognize that there's peer review, but I also realize that the buck stops at the top of the office and that the ultimate call is made by the prosecutor. And at times I believe the discretion should be a little broader.
Thank you. Now, moving on to a very specific question, since I didn't hear either one of you address this as far as a legal change for the county. And that is, the question is, can we move to a hang 'em high like Arizona's Sheriff Joe? A lot of folks know him better than I do last name, but thank you. So can we move to a hang 'em high like Arizona's Sheriff Joe Bruce, I believe that goes to you.
You're not going to ask me to pronounce the last name, are you?
No, that's not
All right,
my
good.
question.
All
I'm
right.
my humble,
I
so
can't
let
do
me-
that one. No, I don't think we can go there. I mean, you're talking about the operation of the sheriff's office. Certainly, an active enforcement of laws that are being broken is important. But there's a harsh reality here, and this is what I've been talking about from the beginning, is that we have limited resources and a limited budget. We can't act like it was 10 years ago and just try every case and pursue every crime and drive it into the ground. We have to be very selective in using our resources to the maximum benefit of our citizens. They're paying for our office to do this job. And it's important for us to make sure that what we do is we protect our citizens and keep it within the bounds of the available budget. So to suggest that somehow we're going to go rogue or Sheriff Joe, we can't do it.
Thank you. Russ?
Sheriff Arpaio's corrections policies, and I guess that's what we're talking about, the pictures of people wearing stripes and pedaling bicycles to power the TVs. Pretty much publicity stunts. Talking to people in the corrections field, they will tell you that that televised part of his operation represents a very small part of it. I've worked closely with this sheriff and the sheriff before on issues at the jail. And in fact, was part of the campaign to expand our jail to its current facility. And what we found was that to do things aimed at degrading prisoners, like dressing them up and putting them in tents, first off, wouldn't work here because of our climate. Also, it's more expensive. Our sheriff runs a jail that is highly efficient, and I think that the way it's run is the way it should be run. It saves us money.